What is going on, everybody? In today's video, we are testing out the best adventure pack for landscape or nature or hiking, photography, or anytime when you need to go on an adventure. There's obviously tons of great packs on the marketplace out there, but I think that there's two that stand above the rest, and I'm putting them to the test, comparing them to one another today to help you guys inform your purchase decision. Now, before we start this video, I just want to say that I'm not affiliated with either brand of either of these packs. I do have an affiliate link down below though, so if you do want to purchase one of these packs, I will get a super small kicker, and I'd really appreciate if you use my link. But I did purchase both of these bags with my money, and so I'm not affiliated with either brand, so I have no agenda on showing you that one pack is better than the other. So as you'll notice, as you watch this video, there's definitely some pros and cons to each pack. It just comes down to being an informed buyer and deciding which pack is going to work best for you. On my right and your left, we've got the Shimoda Action X50. On my left and your right, we've got the F-Stop Talapa 50-liter DuraDiamond bag. Now, both of these packs come in multiple sizes. For F-Stop, the DuraDiamond comes in a 37-liter, this 50-liter, and then I believe an 80-liter, whereas the Shimoda Action X series comes in a 30, 50, and a 70-liter. This just changes the size of the pack, and while there might be a few different features here and there in terms of pockets and size and things like that, obviously, for the most part, the packs are going to be pretty similar throughout the sizes. So if you need a smaller pack, this is still a good comparison for the DuraDiamond versus the Action X. So let's get started by comparing the look of both of these packs. Now, the F-Stop pack here is a traditional backpack here. You've got your zipper on the top, zipper on the back, and then both of these packs have on the back side, this is the access to your camera and everything inside, which I'll show you in a bit. The fabric is really nice on this pack. You can see I've got it in the orange color, obviously. It's their DuraDiamond fabric. It's really thick, it's waterproof. It's really durable. I've taken it through a lot of really tough hikes through the bushes and whatnot, and I've never had a rip. So the fabric is really nice, and you've got a few pockets up top. We're gonna talk more about the pockets on the top a little bit later when we compare them, but this is the look of the F-Stop pack. And we're talking about the Shimoda Action packs. They all come with a roll top. So supposedly, according to Shimoda, the roll top only adds to the storage. So it's a 50-liter pack with up to like 57 liters when you have the roll top open. So you can stuff stuff into the roll top, which is pretty nice, and then roll it and clip it like this. Now, generally on a roll top bag, they're gonna be waterproof and submergible. This one obviously is not submergible because you have access to your camera gear on the back. So it's not submergible, but I do still like the roll top. I think it looks cool. A lot of people think that it looks ugly, so it's just up to you as to what you think it looks like. Again, they've used a really thick fabric here. I like the fabric a lot. It's waterproof. And I haven't had any issues with anything ripping. Both fabrics are super high quality and top of the line for adventure camera packs, in my opinion. And yeah, you've got just tons of straps and other features on the outside. So the first thing that I want to talk about, and probably the most important thing in an adventure pack, especially in a 50-liter pack, in my opinion, is going to be the hip belt. So I kind of have an iffy back. I've had a lot of back pain my whole life, and so I love a good hip belt because I can really tighten down that weight onto my waist. Now, both bags have a pretty substantial hip belt. We'll talk about the F-Stop bag first. So the hip belt is pretty standard. It's just got this like standard foam. I don't know how to describe this other than it's just like a standard, pretty firm foam, and the hip pack comes around you. So the hip belt comes around you. The foam is already kind of molded around so that it will, I guess, suck to your waist. Now, one serious complaint I have about the hip belt on this F-Stop pack here is, maybe you can see it. Actually, I have two serious complaints. First of all, I'm about a size 30 waist, and with this hip belt tightened all the way down, even with adjusting the straps on the side, I still can't get this hip belt as tight as I want. So if you are a relatively small-waisted person like I am, this might be a problem. Now, I know there's not a lot of people that have a size 30 waist, but when you're out talking about adventure and travel and hiking, there is a lot of people that are tall with a small waist like me. So I think that this hip belt needs to be adjusted so that it can be tightened all the way, because you should be able to tighten it all the way, let alone, let's say that you are a kid, like you're 14 or 15, you might have issues with this pack fitting you. So the second problem I have with this, and I'll show you here, is that this is the way that it clips down. So, it's a weird little clip system here, and maybe you can see it a little bit closer here, but instead of the traditional like clip that you normally see on a backpack, you actually throw this through here and then you tighten it like that. It's definitely different, and it feels a little higher quality, but it feels really unnecessary, and I really don't like it because it's kind of a pain to take off and on many times. Now, this isn't a huge problem, but it's just something that I'm not a huge fan of on this particular pack. In terms of the hip belt itself, the fabric, I'm not a huge fan. So this fabric here is pretty firm and stiff. I like something that is a little bit less stiff, and I'm not crazy about it. So that is the hip belt on the f-stop Talapa 50-liter bag. Now, when we're talking about the hip belt here on the Shimoda bag, it does have a standard clip that you clip together and you tighten it. This bag, I can actually tighten all the way to my waist, which is nice because I can tighten it as much as possible. It's a lot more comfortable on my shoulders, and it's just a pretty standard hip belt. Now, the one thing that I like about this hip belt is that it's not quite as firm of fabric, and it just feels more comfortable. It's really hard to explain, but I do really like this hip belt. It's got a lot of great features. You also have a few loops here, so if you wanted to clip some gear, I know this would be good for, like, say you were climbing, you could clip a few of your clips and whatnot on it. And you've got a couple little mesh pockets here. I don't know exactly what you'd use those for. And the hip belt is fully adjustable. You can bring it closer or further away from the pack to make the fit more comfortable. So I think that Shimoda definitely wins when we're talking about hip belts. I do like this one so much better than on the f-stop bag. Now, while we're here talking about hip belts, let's just talk about the rest of the general comfort things on the bag. So f-stop bag here on the shoulder straps here, they also use that same really tough foam. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is not a very comfortable pack if you've got a lot of weight in it. And I'm shooting with Sony a7R IV, and I've got some Tamron lenses that are pretty light. My stuff is not that heavy for a mirrorless setup. I know a lot of you guys out there are probably shooting DSLR setups, and they're probably a lot heavier. This is not a super comfortable pack, in my opinion. These shoulder straps, they really weigh into your shoulders. Maybe that's due to because I can't get the waist belt tight enough, but the shoulder straps are just not super comfortable. Usually, like if I'm out hiking around, my shoulders will be so incredibly sore. Like the next day when I put my pack on, it'll really be painful to use my pack, which is really unfortunate. And I've carried much heavier packs. I use a Gregory pack for backpacking, which isn't the same as like a camera bag, but it's a lot more comfortable. I carry that thing with twice the weight that I do in this, and I have no problems. So I know that there's definitely some room for improvement here on these shoulder straps, which are, like I said, a little too firm. Now, let's talk about the Shimoda pack here. So this one recently started using, it's actually a lot more comfortable. So there's a lot less foam here to support you, but it's a little more bendable, and it's thinner. So I actually like it a lot better. It's been a lot more comfortable. I've carried it with even more weight than this one and not had any issues with comfort problems. Shimoda definitely wins in the comfort category here. And in addition to that, you can see the f-stop bag has like a few clips and whatnot on the shoulder strap. The Shimoda bag has like these little pockets. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know what you use them for. My iPhone doesn't fit in here, but maybe if you had like, my Garmin InReach, I think fits in here, or like your wallet or your ID, or maybe some camera lens cloths or whatever. You can do whatever you want with it, but I do like these shoulder straps a lot better on the Shimoda bag. So overall, comfort of wearing the bag, Shimoda wins by a long shot. Better hip belt, better shoulder straps than you have on the f-stop bag here. All right, let's talk about the next most important feature, which is probably the internal unit on the camera ICU. So f-stop bag, here it is. Your camera goes in here. You have to, on both packs, you have to purchase their internal units to hold your camera. They don't come with the pack. You can purchase different sizes depending on what you want, or stack multiple. In my two packs, I just have one. I have the largest size possible that fits in the pack. So let me show you. So the f-stop one is a simple zipper, just zips all the way around here. One thing that's annoying in the field is you have a hard time zipping them. So when I'm out in the field, usually I will flip these straps. So I'll flip these straps back like that, so that then I have an easier view. This flips out here. Now, this is where the inside of your camera goes. In terms of the internal unit, hopefully you can see it here good. This is what f-stop has. These are all customizable on both packs. The internal unit is totally customizable. This is how I have it. You can see I put my camera right here, and then I'd put like a lens, maybe my other camera, and just stuff it full of stuff. This is the extra large insert, which is the largest one you can put on this particular backpack. And you can see that it goes pretty much all the way up to the top of the pack here. So I've got tons of room for my camera stuff. Now, the one thing about this is that this is pretty generic foam. And to be honest, the internal units on both of these packs, in my opinion, seem pretty overpriced. Now, I don't know how much they cost for the company to get made, but like all it is just a bunch of foam put together, and both the internal units are over $100 for both these companies. But you have to have them if you want the pack, so might as well not complain about the price too much. But this one, the foam is pretty generic. It's like the same foam that they've used in the hip belt, and you just slide these in right here. They're Velcro attached, and that's that. Now on the Shimoda bag, there is something that I really dislike, and that is the fact that when you want to unzip this, it's a little bit different. So you can see the hip belt straps are actually on this back panel. Unlike on the f-stop bag where the hip belt is outside of that panel, they are actually built onto the panel there. So the zip goes from here all the way around and down. Now when you unzip this, the one thing that really bothers me is that in order to unzip this, you have to unclip this clip. So when you have this on your back, you're gonna have this clipped because this is what's holding the hip belt panel and bringing the backpack closer to you. You have to unclip this, which is really annoying, and maybe it will grow on me, but it's a huge pain to unclip this every time you wanna get to your camera bag. I know, this might seem like a small problem, but it is just one thing that I don't like about this pack, is how you have to unclip this every time. Then you can unzip this, and then it opens to the side, unlike the f-stop one, which opens to the bottom. It doesn't really matter too much, other than I guess the side opening is kind of nice because it won't be like sitting in the mud. It's kind of sitting on the side of the pack, whereas the top opener here that you see on the f-stop bag, a lot of times you have to stick it in the mud. So you can see right now I've got my stuff in the Shimoda bag. I have a few things here. I'd put my camera here. The internal unit, the foam is thinner, but it's like more rigid. So it's a little more stiff. I like the foam a lot better, and I like the internal unit a lot better that Shimoda makes than the one that f-stop makes. And it's nice because there's some pieces that are like curved. Maybe you can see this one here. You're actually able to curve the internal unit, the little foam here, in order to like make a shape, which is nice because a lot of times our camera stuff is circular. It's not all square. So it's nice to be able to make a shape. Now, while we're talking about the internal unit, I do want to mention one thing that's really frustrating about the f-stop pack. So you can actually open the pack here and have inside access. You can see my hand has inside access. So on the f-stop internal units, if you put something right here, you close your pack, it's going to push down on the internal unit, and maybe you can see right there, it's gonna start to push down on the internal unit, which is like, I guess it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're getting your gear from point A to point B, but I hate looking in here and seeing that like my gear is getting pushed down. I don't like that. So Shimoda actually has a pretty clever design in that on the inside, where the roll top is, it's actually a different compartment. So you can jam this thing full of gear and it will never really push down this unit very much. I mean, you can push it down a little bit if you really try, but I'm really giving this a solid push, whereas the f-stop one, it folds like a house of cards if you put anything in there. So that's just a small thing, but it's something that I really did appreciate when I got the Shimoda pack, that I noticed that they paid some special attention to that, because I don't like seeing my gear smushed down. And when it is smushed down, if there's something in there, a lot of times it's hard to pull it out as well. Now, the other thing that's worth noting on this f-stop bag is you can see the front flap here. There is a lot going on. There's a ton of different pockets, which is really, really nice. When you open this pocket, you can I put batteries in here. I put like memory cards and stuff in these pockets. There's even a sleeve for a computer here. So there's a ton of great things here that you have on the f-stop bag on this back panel. The Shimoda one, to be honest with you, kind of sucks. It has this computer sleeve. I know these adventure pack companies like to put these computer sleeves on there because you might want to carry your computer. But if I'm going to carry my computer, I'm probably going to like a hotel or a flight or whatever it may be. I'm going to put my computer in my computer bag. I don't want to put it in my camera bag. It's just going to add more weight. And if I'm out hiking, I'm not bringing my computer with me. So that's kind of my thing about that. I hate having a computer bag on this. Unfortunately, on the Shimoda bag, that's all that you can put in here. I mean, I guess you could shove something else in there, but it has no pockets. It's meant to be a computer bag. F-stop one, meant to be a computer bag, but it also has some pockets as well. F-stop definitely wins on the back panel design. Shimoda could easily put something like this on the back. I'm not sure why they don't, because like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this flap here. Okay, so let's compare some of the inside pockets on both packs, see which one is a little more versatile. So first we've got the f-stop bag right here. The inside pocket, you can see there's like no room here. It's because I have this extra large ICU. If you put a large ICU in there is probably what I would recommend if you don't have a ton of camera gear. you're gonna have a lot more space up top in order to put like a jacket or some food or whatever in there. Nice thing on the inside of this pack, you also have this little pocket here. You can throw something there. In addition to that, on the very top of the pack, you have a pocket as well. In this pocket, you've got this kind of back mesh right here. You could throw something. And then you've got a few different pockets that are separated up here. So it's nice to be able to put a few items in there. In addition to that, you've got this front pocket. I will unbuckle these so that we can open this. We've got a pocket here that we could throw something in. This is a real small pocket. And then we've got a larger pocket here, which is actually really nice and large. Now I've got the smaller version of the f-stop DuraDiamond bag, and it doesn't have as nice of a front pocket. This is kind of exclusive to the 50 liter, but you can definitely throw a lot in here, and you've got this inside mesh as well. So a lot of internal storage here on the f-stop bag. It's nice to have some pockets with some different stuff going on. Now the Shimoda bag, like I mentioned before, we have this roll top, which you can throw some gear in. Let me give you a better look there. You've got a couple different zipper pockets in here, which are pretty nice because you can actually store some items in little pockets on the inside. And the roll top is obviously nice because if you have a lot of gear, you can just roll it twice and have a lot of items in there. If you have no gear in there like I do right now, you can roll it all the way down and kind of make your pack a little bit shorter. So a lot of customization ability, I guess, depending on what you have in there. Other cool thing is you've got this zipper right here, which opens up to the inside, and you can see these little zipper pockets a little bit better now. So if you've got the roll top rolled down and it's really stuffed and you don't want to have to unroll it all the way to get in, you can use this front pocket here, but that just leads to the same storage that I just showed you. Now you also have this little pocket on the front, and this guy doesn't open down that far, but it's deep. You can see it goes all the way down to the bottom of the pack. It just doesn't open that far, but you could jam some stuff in there. I've got a lot of stuff that I would normally put in the top of this pack right in here. Got a couple pockets, a little mesh pocket here. So you've got some pretty good internal storage. I'd probably say the f-stop is a little bit better in terms of the internal storage than the Shimoda, but they're both really close, and I think you'll be pretty happy with the other pockets and storage on either bag. So another thing that I think is really important for photographers is the tripod / water bottle storage. Now in this f-stop bag, they try to do something cool with it. I'm not a huge fan, I'm not gonna lie to you. So you've got this side pocket that you could store like a water bottle in. So you would unzip that and you could stick this in there. You would need a pretty thin water bottle. I can get my Nalgene, which I feel like is a pretty normal size, but it is kind of a jam. The other thing that you can do is throw your tripod into this little side pocket. It's not mesh, it's just a zipper, which I think is really weird. You could throw your tripod in there and then you would strap this around like that. Your tripod would be on the side of your pack. Works pretty decently, but again, I'm not a huge fan. I like having that traditional mesh pocket or something on the side just so that I can put different size water bottle, different size tripod, whatever it may be. So what they did I think is cool, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Now on the Shimoda pack here, what they did is pretty cool actually. So you can see probably that there is a mesh pack here. When you're not using this, it actually stores right in here, and you can zip this over so that it's not in your way. When you want to use it, you pop this out, and now you have this cool little bag, which is great for like anything from a big water bottle to a really big tripod. It fits right in there. It's really easy to get in and out if you have enough hands. Just like that, you tighten that down, and then you would unbuckle this guy right here and buckle it around. And your tripod will go in there. Now, it's a lot easier and quicker to get your tripod in and out of this Shimoda bag than the f-stop bag. The f-stop bag is really annoying, having to tighten these things down and use the clips up here. This is a lot quicker to pull it in and out, which is nice if you're like me and you like to pull your tripod out all the time, look at a composition and then decide that it sucks and put your tripod back. It's nice to have some a little bit quicker access to that. So this pouch would also work great for a water bottle. We'll grab the Nalgene once again, throw that in there. You can see that it is good. Even if you have a really tall water bottle, it should sit in there fine, which that's an issue on some packs. Your water bottle is too tall and it'll like fall out. Definitely won't happen here. You've also got this side pocket here as well. So just a couple other final things I wanted to mention. The Shimoda bag also has the option, if you want to mess with it, with having this side pocket open up to your ICU, which gives you the ability to have quick access to your camera. Now, I have it closed right now, but you could open it. If you put your camera right here on this side of the ICU, you would have that side access, which is nice if you just want to sling your pack around, pull your camera out. However, I tried for like 30 minutes to set up the ICU in such a way that my camera would be right here. It just wasn't working for me. I wasn't a huge fan of it. So for that reason, I'm not crazy about this feature, but it is something that you could look at using if that is something that is for you. If you're one of those photographers that wants to run and gun and sling your camera on the side as much as possible. So as you can see, both packs are really solid. There's a lot of features to love about both packs. At the end of the day, it just comes down to your personal preference. For me personally, I am really liking this Shimoda bag. It's got a few features that I'm not crazy about, but for the most part, it has more features that I like than this f-stop bag, which also has some great features. Really, you can't go wrong with either bag. So if you guys have any more questions about the bags, please feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to help you guys make a great purchase decision and pick up something that you are gonna love. These are the two best in the industry that I have ever seen. Avoid those silly commuter packs and packs that don't have quality hip belts because they're not gonna be good for hiking and adventuring. These are the best of the best when we're talking hiking and adventuring. Thank you guys so much for checking out this week's video. Really hope it was helpful for you guys. Make sure to use those affiliate links down below if you're gonna pick up one of these packs. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.